Guys, it's a Chook Man here once again. I'm just going to be filming this old guy. He's made his shed into a Holden memorabilia man cave. Everything you see in this film, he's got nothing but Holden parts. He might have one Ford thing, but it's mainly Holden.
Yep. I just love the Holden advertising, the chrome gear that come off them.
Yep. Now the Holden advertising is something I wanted to talk to you about because it's the walls are lined.
Yeah.
And you've got newspaper clippings, you've got stuff out of
Woman's Weeklies are those three there. Woman's Day is this one over here.
Yep.
With the EK on it.
Yep.
And they were from the post office. So the stamp issues.
Oh, the stamps. Yep. Oh wow.
I'd go in there and say, "Have you got a poster for these stamps that are coming out?" "Oh yeah, but they'll be on the wall for 6 months."
Yeah, okay. Then
they'd write my name down when they finish with them. They'd ring me up and say, "Come and get your poster."
Yeah, we used to do similar things with video shop in the day.
I loved it. They were beautiful photos.
Yeah. So is it just that you can't go past something that has Holden written on it? You have to, whether it be a piece of paper or
pretty well,
an ashtray or anything.
I grew up in the area where Holden was all over the roads, in the bush, in the country.
Yeah.
When you left school, you just wanted an old Holden, or back then a Holden.
Yeah.
Of course, that was my first one, the FC. Bought that at 16.
Yep.
Drove it 1,000 miles to Karratha, 200 miles of dirt road.
Yeah, back in those days, that was quite a trek, wasn't it?
And never had a problem with it,
Yeah.
And that was a rough road.
Yeah, I bet it was.
But they were built with tough to take that sort of treatment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's plenty of advertising here from everywhere.
So what would be your best advertising piece? What do you think is the piece that speaks to you the most? The rarest piece, or the hardest to find, or the one with the best story behind it?
Yeah, well, the 1976 one, I took that out of the paper in 76.
Okay.
I would have been 22 years old.
I was born in 76.
I was 22 years old, and I pulled that out of the paper, and I folded it up. And when I came down to Pinjarra, I got it laminated. Of course, when I moved over here,
yep.
I was stuck on the wall. I was quite proud of that one. And then, of course, that was in 1988.
Yep.
At 76, 88, yeah.
Well, the funny thing about the one from 76 is that this is Holdens that you don't think are Holdens.
Yeah. This was 50 years of General Motors Holden from 1926 to 1976.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people don't realise that Holden were assembling Chevs, Pontiacs, Vauxhalls, Oldsmobiles.
Yep.
Anything was made by General Motors in America was assembled in Australia.
Yep.
By Holden, the Holden family.
And that would make the FX the first body they built then, would it? The first body built by Holden?
Yeah. Well, they were actually assembled. They made the first two in America.
Okay.
No, three. The first three.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Assembled in America. That's number one there.
Okay.
And then when they shipped them over in 46, 47.
Yep.
Then they built two more here. You had 5 prototypes.
Okay.
There's only 2 left. There's that one which Holden kept.
Yep.
Well, no, Holden didn't keep that one. One of the dealers kept it, and he sat on it for years and years, and then a bloke in Victoria discovered what it was, and he fully restored it. It's in the Canberra Museum, I think, now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was the
first
number one.
Yep.
And that's I'd written 1946 on there because they didn't put it on there.
Yeah, okay.
Because they all say, "Oh, it's a 48," but that one's not.
Yeah, well.
It's 46.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, awesome. Now the other thing I'm noticing is you've got a lot of grills in here now. One from every model, apparently.
I've got every grill from FX up to HZ. Before pre-Commodore, yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got WB, so don't stop at HZ.
Right, yeah. yeah. Well, there is the odd Commodore one. There's a couple of Commodore ones out there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But I made it a mission to get one of every Holden up to HZ, which I class as the Australian Holden, because Commodore, even though it's an Australian car, it's still an Opel version.
An Opel
thing, that's right. Yeah. Whereas up to HZ, they were Australian designed and built. There was no other car anywhere else the same as that. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, nice. So where did you find the first grill? What kicked that off? Was it, again, just a collecting bug, or was it something that you found one of and went, I'll try and get them all?
I went up to Mora. Just past Mora, there was a farm. I seen the old ute out in the paddock, and I saw. So I went in there and I said to the farmer, any chance of getting the grill off that old? He said you'd take the ute if you wanted, but it was pretty hard.
Yeah.
So I brought that home, and that's when I sort of made my mind up. I'll go and get one of every one.
Yeah, nice. And so from that point, how long did it take you to get them all?
Took a few years.
I'd imagine it would have, yeah.
And like I say, the HQ was the last one to track down. It was so hard to find one.
Yeah, okay.
Yet they made more HQs than any other model. So it just shows you. Yeah. I remember just out of Roven was probably 25 FX FJs all stacked up in a big heap.
Yeah.
And I took that FJ bar up the top off one.
Yep.
I wish I'd taken a photo just of the heap. You know, the photo alone would have been. And they, of course,
it would have been,
they got crushed and taken away eventually. But I should have then got all the ID plates and everything off them. But you don't think back then, you know. You think they're going to be there forever.
Yeah, no, hindsight's one of those troubling things.
That's right. That's right.
We never like living with hindsight. But
Yeah.
Right, so here's the FB couch.
Yep.
Mate, this looks really awesome. So you made this one up yourself?
Yeah. Cut this off an old parts car when I had my EKU.
Yep.
And set her up.
So this is the back of a ute or a sedan?
Back of a sedan, yeah.
Okay.
You just take the boot out and run a bit of framework.
Yep.
And then sheet it and then set the cushions on it,
Yeah.
Same with the one over there, yeah.
And these work, they sort of work really well, don't they, with these big chrome?
Oh, they're beautiful, yeah. Plenty of chrome and they look good, eh?
Yeah. No, that's
of course, there's the dash out of an FJ ute.
Yep.
The whole dash, the lot.
Yeah, you're saying that a bloke you know drags old stuffing out of the bush and just cuts anything any good out of them.
Yeah, he'll
Even
take an old wreck that's been rolled and rusted, sitting in the creek bed for years, and surprised what he can cut out of that, and people buy it off him because it's a rust repair section. It's not rusty. You know?
That's right, and it's the original Holden steel too.
That's right. Yeah. I've only had that about 12 months.
Yep.
You know, over 12 months ago, it would have been sitting in the creek bed. Lying out in the sun
since 1960 something.
Yeah, that's
probably.
right. Yeah. Now it's now it is something, you know.
Yeah. Now that's unreal, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's for sure.
Now you mentioned these cars up here. You've got pictures of on the wall. You mentioned
the Hughes brothers.
Hughes brothers, was it?
Yeah. They had a big Holden restoration museum in the Bendigo Pottery in Bendigo.
Yep.
That's where I went over to see it, and they had one of every model. Oh,
wow.
The quality of their work was unbelievable, and that's the two old fellas there.
Yep.
I think they may have passed by now because they were in their 80s, and that would have been in the 90s.
Yeah.
So,
a convertible HR, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what the story is there, but it's there.
It looks quite good, doesn't it?
It looked like it come out of the factory.
It does, yeah.
It's well done.
No, so these guys were obviously craftsmen back in their day then, weren't they?
They were the first ones to find one of the old station wagons that Cordell put together.
Oh, yeah, we saw one of those recently out at
Whiteman's Park. Well, that's what they done one of those up. No, well, that wasn't made by Holden. It was made by a company called Cordell.
Yeah, that's what they retro. Yeah. They took a sedan and put the back end on it, didn't they? Yeah,
that's right, yeah. And that's out of an old bank, had that one. That red one came from the same bank.
Oh, okay.
And they had that made up, and a mate of mine had a neighbour that worked in the bank, and she said, I'll get them for you when they, finish with them. So here they are, and that was in the 1980s. Yeah.
Looking at your bits and pieces over here, we were talking about Swan taxis earlier. So you're saying that was on the front of all the Swan taxis back in the day, or a lot of them?
Most of them, yeah. And you've got different coloured wings. You've got blue, reds, greens.
Yeah, wow.
And I was quite surprised to see a black one, actually. I got that off the fella in Bunbury. My sister-in-law's son found that body in an old shed when I'm cleaning it out.
Yeah.
And the mate in Bunbury said, I've got a pair of wings that'll fit that. So for $10 he sold me the wings, and the mate made me that for my 40th birthday.